when you start seeing these ones, it's because we've been slacking, and we definitely have. Our last pod was like 2 months ago, so now you're going to see a little bit of these. Hopefully, I bet next week we can do a pod. Just fell through a couple times, working and summer and stuff. It's always tough to be consistent this summer, but we're gonna hit the ground running next week, I think. Here to talk about the Celtics. We're not gonna do the draft today, I don't think. We could, but maybe on the next one. Really just big picture for them. NBA champions, no challenges. Reminds me a lot of the 2018 Red Sox, The Red Sox, they won like 110 games. It was insane. They never were challenged. They never lost a game at home. The Celtics lost a couple at home, but it happens. But yeah, no, they were fierce, man. They really didn't feel any sort of adversity throughout the whole season. There was 1 week where they lost 2 games to Atlanta back to back, and you were like, come on, man. But no, I mean they found a new level. Like they were insane all regular season, right? But they had an issue with blowing leads. They were front running, and then if it got close late in the game, they would cough it up a lot. They would cough up a lot of games. And they grew through that. I mean, they won 64 games, don't forget. They won 64 games, and then they weren't challenged in the playoffs. The farthest a series would go would be 5 games. They drop 1 game in each playoff series. Not the conference finals, but the most they would drop would be 1 game in the playoffs. So, I mean, this is a historic team. They are a special group, and they're running the same core back. And that's why I'm expecting greatness next year. I don't want to focus too much on next year. I know the competition is going to be a little better. Some teams are going to figure some stuff out. Indiana, especially. They're a young team, and they fell flat on their face when they faced the Celtics in the conference finals. Youth showed. And that happened to us 2 years ago against the Warriors. Youth showed. But this time around for the Celtics, experience showed. They took care of business each and every night. I mean, Game 4 against the Mavericks was a gross one, but it felt like they never lost control of the series. They were already up 3-0 going into Game 4. That's when you get up 3-0, that is the nail. That is what does it in. They came in Game 5 and absolutely torched them. What won them the championship was their defense in the final round. The finals, it was all about their defense. Jaylen Brown wins the finals MVP, and he earned it. And what a narrative, whatever you want to call it, when he doesn't make any All-NBA teams on the best team, and he's one of the best players, and then he wins the finals MVP. He just became, he hit his prime in the playoffs. Like, I saw him improve significantly. Like, take a jump from the regular season to the postseason this year. Whereas usually you'll see that jump during the off season. I'll give him this. He looked better during the regular season than he did last year, especially like in the playoffs last year. He was good until the finals. I mean the conference finals, and then he coughed, like he caved. There was adversity. Tatum rolls his ankle, and he was invisible. And that team went down 0-3. That should have never happened to Miami. But yeah, no, he took that and he improved his game. He's a thoroughbred. Mentally, physically, he is probably one of the best players. He's up there, No one brings what he does to the court in the entire league. And I know Tatum is the closest to him, but I mean, what he can do defensively, Tatum, I don't know if he has that motor. This guy has a motor, you know. He is like an 80-horse Evan Rude, and he took Luka Doncic out of the finals. Everyone was saying the best player on the court usually wins the series, and everyone that was the rationale for picking Luka Doncic in the Mavericks in 6, is what I kept hearing. It was egregious, really. I mean, the motor on Jaylen Brown, he was the best player in the series, and I know Tatum was amazing later on, and he was going through it a little bit, you know, like he was in a shooting slump and at a poor time. Definitely in the playoffs, but his team backed him up, and he's the face of the league, so he's gonna get slandered a lot. You know, a lot of people are gonna. He's the biggest target. But Jaylen Brown was the best player on the team, and he earned the finals MVP trophy. He took Luka out of the game, and that's why I'm saying no one has that kind of. It's like Westbrook, but he can shoot and he plays defense. And has no ego, you know. That's what Brown is. It's like Westbrook's athleticism, but he can shoot the ball a lot better than Westbrook could, and he defends a lot better than Westbrook does. I'm talking about prime Westbrook, you know, like Oklahoma City trying to take them to the finals. No, he's an amazing player, and we're lucky to have him. And I hope he spends the rest of his career here. I hope those two stay together as long as possible. So that I had to give my flowers to Jaylen Brown. I think he's an incredible player, and him and Tatum are like exactly the kind of star players that I would want on my team. You know, there's no ego there. And Jason Tatum, he took a back seat so Jaylen Brown could dominate. You know, Jason Tatum could dominate the ball like a guy like Embiid or a guy like Harden, because they're seeing the headlines too much and they need to show everyone that they can put up the numbers when everyone knows they can, but it's just to stir controversy. But JT, he saw his role as, well, right now he's dominating and we have a real shot to win the championship. So I'm going to do my best passing, and his passing was incredible this postseason. My best rebounding. I could do a whole podcast on the importance of rebounding, and Tatum did it phenomenally. And then when he needed to, he was scoring the ball. Like in the finals, at the tail end there, the last 2 games, or it was really game 3 and game 5, Jason Tatum was putting up monster scoring numbers as well. He was scoring the ball. He was great. He was playing really good defense on the center. Like, very selfless player, Jason Tatum. He's not supposed to match into the center, but he is to cover the pick and roll, because Jason Kidd had one plan, which was pick and roll with Luka and Lively, because Kyrie couldn't get it going. He was neutralized by Drew Holiday and Derek White. That backcourt is incredible. And JT, he's matched with the center. A lot of players don't like to do that. Anthony Davis is another one where it's like he refuses to match into the center. Very selfish player. A lot of NBA players are egomaniacs, and it has to be their way. You know, it's the AAU culture. But the 2 kids that we have, Brown and Tatum, the championship is the only thing they care about, and that's special. You don't get that a lot, which is crazy to say. It's crazy to say. I mean, you see that a lot with like football and maybe baseball, hockey. Like, all that matters is probably less baseball, more hockey and football, where it's like all that matters is that we win as a team, whatever it takes. But in basketball, you see it a lot. It's like I need to shut everyone up. I need to become the MVP. I need to dominate the game. But our players don't do that, and that's why you're lucky to have them. You can't split them up. You need to keep them together as long as possible. They are they are a wagon. And I think they are favorites next year. I think the East, the only team that I'm giving a little bit of respect to is New York. I think they're starting something there, but I don't know. I don't know if I believe them just yet, New York. I don't think they're on our level, I'll be honest. I think they're probably the tier below us. I think them and Indiana are going to be scrapping to play us. But I think Miami's going to age out pretty soon here. This might be their last shot at, like, sneaking into playoffs, as they have. Milwaukee, I think they've aged already. I think their time, the window's closed for Milwaukee. Philadelphia, another one. They're going to try to get Paul George. I know that. They're going to try to get Paul George. If they get Paul George, I'm still not afraid of Philadelphia. That is just a losing culture. So they don't know how to win. That's the thing with Philadelphia, is they don't know how to win. They have a coach that knows how to win, Nick Nurse, but the players, Embiid, Maxey, and Paul George, if they get him too, those are 3 losing players. Maxey is a developing young player, but Embiid and Paul George are 2 losers. They are 2 losers. Embiid won the MVP, and I'm happy for him for that, but that was a sympathy MVP, I'll be honest. But no, good player. But he has, in a losing culture, he is a loser. And he's a good player, but in the playoffs, he cannot win. And especially if he plays Boston, they're going to crumble. So I'm hopeful for Banner 19. Yeah, I think we are in it for the long haul here. Need to rest up for the offseason. They just drafted a kid, Sherman or something. Shooter, Sam Hauser 2.0. We'll see if he ends up getting any minutes this season. I think he'll be, if they can find a role for him somewhere, he might be in Maine for a while. But I think the whole plan with that is Sam Hauser's going to get a contract at some point, and I don't think it'll be here because we won't be able to afford him. We have to take care of Derek White this offseason, and Tatum will sign the Supermax. So I'll see you soon. We're gonna do all of them today. We have Patriots, we have Celtics, we have Bruins, and of course the Red Hot Red Sox. Have a good day, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.